E aí pessoas, beleza? Estou aqui gravando mais um vídeo de Alan Wake America's Nightmare. Nossa, dessa vez a cabana afundou por completo. Como assim? Tá, bora lá seguindo aqui. O que vai acontecer dessa vez, né? É lógico que vai ter um cara gigante. Beleza. Tipo, agora tem os gigantes, velho. Como assim? Bom, talvez agora vai ficar mais rápido ainda, talvez. Não sei. Mas com certeza vai, né?
Right on cue, bubbling to the surface from untold depths, the horrors come. The emerging monsters do not expect the warm reception that has already been prepared for them.
Ó, já tava aqui, já tá tudo pronto aqui. A mulher já veio aqui, já montou tudo, né? Valeu. Mas só vai precisar pegar a chave depois. Correr. Ignora esses caras aí, só corre, velho. Próxima parada, salvar Emma. Daqui é aquele, tipo, parece aquele esquema, tipo, você vai ficar repetindo as coisas até você conseguir salvar, fazer tudo certo no caso. Tá, vambora, esquece eles. Ai, droga. Nossa, me pegou ainda. Agora já era. Você se matou.
Yeah, thanks for saving me again. I'd hate to die before I'm scheduled to be murdered.
I guess I have you to thank for setting everything up at the oil derrick.
Yeah, well, I figured that if we were going to go over this again, we might as well try to be smart about it, huh?
I appreciate it. You took a big chance doing that. You okay?
What do you think? I've died twice. I remember everything pretty clearly now. You said I was gonna be okay.
I don't know what happened.
Well, it's not your fault. I think one of those, what did you call them? The takers? I think they did something to the power and they got me that way.
I'm sorry.
I got the keys from the dead guy in that room. And I'm not handing them over until you do something about this. I'm sick of getting killed.
Fair enough. You seem calmer now.
I tried freaking out. It didn't do much good for me. I guess you get used to the craziest stuff.
Good for you.
Plus I figured I'd take the edge off, you know?
Mm-hmm. Those herbal supplements are pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah.
I wanted to try to explain things to you now since you're calmer, but maybe this isn't the best time after all.
Oh shit, yeah. Better not get all metaphysical on me now. Seriously, I'm like 2 sentences away from thinking how we could all be like atoms on God's skin or something.
Or figments of somebody's imagination?
Wow. I'm just gonna try to chill out and not think about that or getting murdered or anything, if you're cool with that.
Gotcha.
Certo. Bom, antes vamos ouvir os manuscritos, né? A gente já viu até, vamos ver, ó, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tive até esse aqui, então bora lá ouvir o espectro.
In Bright Falls, I was constantly under attack by birds that were more shadow than flesh and feathers. But this is an evolution. Some of the Taken were actually capable of turning into a flock of birds to escape my attacks and turning back into human form to make surprise attacks.
Tá, Emma Sloan.
With all the herbs, crystals, and the rest of her New Age paraphernalia, Emma Sloan had been called a hippie and a freak and worse. It was that small-town mentality. She was a female mechanic, and even in 2011 there were always going to be backward shit-kickers who thought that was a hoot. She didn't mind. She could deal. She could take any engine apart, even the new ones with all the computers in them. Turned out that these boys were awful polite while waiting for her to put them back together.
Tá, agora vamos até o final, hein? Velhos deuses de Asgard.
Thor and Odin Anderson, old gods of Asgard. I still don't quite know what to make of them. I know they used to be rock stars who modeled their stage personas after Norse gods. I know they're old. I know that in their day they fought the darkness as I do. I know they're demented and insane, ravaged by age and self-abuse. But there's something in them, something powerful that took hold when they were touched by the powers beyond. A thing that goes far beyond just stage names. Something godlike.
Vamos lá, mais Barry e os Velhos Deuses.
The Anderson brothers should probably have been in a facility somewhere, despite their tendency to escape from such places. It could be argued that they had no business being on tour, considering their condition. Their lives mostly revolved around the laundry list of ailments and their endless quest for liquor. But Barry Wheeler managed them now. And whatever else they might say about Barry, he knew how to make things happen. And honestly, it wasn't like the Andersons were the most difficult clients he ever had.
Velhos Deuses no estúdio.
Getting the Andersons into the recording studio was a struggle and a half. But once they actually picked up the instruments, something happened. They were 2 old men, and they weren't. They were doddering bags of bone, and they were barely contained power. And there was music. Barry rubbed his hands together. He knew how to pick a winner. Now all they needed was some direction on how to make things a little more modern. Barry had never produced a thing in his life, but he knew what he liked. He knew Balance Slays the Demon was going to be a hit.
E, vamos lá, tem 2 ainda. O Gigante.
I've seen the darkness twist flesh into new shapes before, but encountering these giants is an extremely disturbing experience. It's as if the genre has been switched on me. There's something out of Pulp Fiction. Twice as tall as normal men and stronger than forklifts, their lumbering gait and slow-witted demeanor brings to mind some kind of mean-spirited caricature of a feeble-minded hillbilly.
E por último, Emma e o Sr. Scratch.
Emma wasn't sure exactly when the man arrived at the motel, but from what she could tell, the party started almost immediately. It was infectious, spreading from one room to another. He was mercurial, almost as if he was flickering through the scene, telling a joke here, throwing an insult there, oozing sex and violence and excitement. She had never seen someone like this before. He looked at her and smiled, and she felt her heart flutter a little. She knew he was the kind of man mothers warn their daughters about, but she told herself it didn't matter.
E pronto, ouvimos todas as notas deste lugar, né? Bom, agora a gente tem que salvar a Emma protegendo a caixa de fusíveis. Nossa! Tá, não vai dar certo isso. Tá, deu já? Tá, volte até EMA agora.
Okay. I really don't think they can get to the power now.
Thank you. That's a relief. Here's the keys that you needed.
Thank you.
Hey, I have to tell you, at the diner, I went there with him. The guy who looks like you, okay? I know I said that I didn't.
Yeah, I figured. Want to talk about what happened at the diner?
There was this guy from the observatory, and he just attacked the poor dude, smashed his face into the tabletop a bunch of times. It was horrible. I didn't know that he was gonna do that. I swear. And I just ran. I just left him there. I didn't even try to help.
There was nothing you could have done. It's not your fault.
Well, he's dead in that motel room now, so excuse me if I feel pretty shitty about it anyway.
You shouldn't blame yourself.
I just didn't want to get involved. I have this tendency to just drop everything and run. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I didn't even call the cops. I'm such a coward.
If you'd called the cops, we'd have dead cops. He's not human. Do you understand? It's not your fault.
But I could have tried to stop him.
Believe me, if you had, you'd be dead. You seem to be doing a little better now.
Yeah, I guess it just got easier once I got this thing off my chest. I just feel so guilty about it, especially because I didn't pick up on any of the warning signs. I just really liked hanging out with him, you know? He was smart and charming and funny and hot. The way you could be, I guess.
I guess.
What's the deal with this guy anyway? He looks like you, he uses your name. Why does he do this stuff?
I'm not sure myself. Maybe he's just evil or my dark half. He does a lot of the stuff I'm trying really hard to get away from. Things that just messed up my life.
I guess all those murders don't help either.
Yeah, I could do without the murders and the end of the world. Listen, I need to get going.
Yeah, go. I think I'm good now. I hope.
Good luck. If it all goes well, maybe this is the last time we meet like this.
God, wouldn't that be great?
Just keep those lights on, okay?
Tá, espero que ela não morra dessa vez. Mas aparentemente não deu nada. Tá, vamos direto pro apartamento, né? Pro quarto que a gente já sabe. E bora pro observatório. E ela tá viva.
The fate of countless individuals hangs in the balance, threatened by the machinations of the Herald of Darkness. And yet, for a moment, the Champion of Light breathes a little easier. He has saved one life. For this moment, it is enough. And soon, perhaps, he can put an end to this. Returning to the observatory for what he hopes is the final time, the man feels anticipation and dread in equal measure. Soon, he knows, he will have what he needs.
Certo, bora seguindo.
Hello, I was expecting you. I've already taken care of the imaging array, but you should still look into securing the primary coolant flow. With some luck, you may be able to light the area before the show up.
Tá, proteja os canos principais. Eu tô tentando entrar, né, mas já que não dá. Ai! Tá, olha só a velocidade disso, velho.
Very good. I believe we're ready to look into the sky.
Right there, Doctor.
Tá, já sabe até o caminho que tem que seguir, né? Meu Deus, o gigante tá vindo. Ah, não, velho, sério?
Come on in.
Pronto, agora sim. Tipo, fale com a doutora Middles e cadê...
Cows! We need to protect the telescope or we can't complete the signal.
Eita, essa música. É, sacanagem, né? Essas bombas junto. Nossa, aí sim essa música, hein? Parece até Iron Maiden, né? Pronto, aí sim, hein? Tá um som bom, hein?
But I wish these things would stop blatantly violating the laws of physics in my observatory. That's just rude. Are you alright?
I'll live.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you. I remember our previous encounters very clearly now. But technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
Certo. Bom, antes de entrar, vamos ver as notas, né? Vamos lá, a gente tinha visto até... Vamos ver. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Até essa daqui, os possuídos. Então vamos pra doutora Middles.
When Dr. Rachel Meadows got the call from Michael, telling her to hurry to the observatory, she didn't waste any time. It had been a nice party. She'd had a good time, but her social life would always play second fiddle to the mysteries of space. Michael never showed up, of course. He pulled over at the wrong rest stop. She never even thought about him at the time. The phenomenon in the sky above her was too fascinating.
Tá, bora pro próximo. Aí, ó. Eu podia ter ouvido mais. Eu acho que eu ouvi, não sei. Enfim, Nova Realidade, Fragmento 2.
The film noir poster reminded me of Alex Casey, the detective's cool exterior never cracking even with the gun pointed in his face. In the back room, all the lights had been turned off, except for the lone spotlight which illuminated the bright red fire extinguisher on the wall.
Tá, tudo é tão real quanto o resto.
This act of creation is exhilarating and frightening. Subtext and symbols loom eager to take effect. Causality and consequence become domino chains that stretch into infinity. The more fundamental the change, the more unpredictable the variables become. Reality is too complex to control completely. Ordinary questions become meaningless. Who created who? What is really real? Everything is as real as everything else. You learn to let go of the things you can't control and go with the flow, or go insane.
Tá, Doutora Meadows e o Sr. Scratch.
The man before Dr. Meadows was handsome and slick. He moved with lazy confidence and didn't bother to pretend that he wasn't staring at her. She didn't mind, at first. Then the man flicked open the knife and shoved her out of the control room so she wouldn't hear the signal, whatever it was. Outside, she pulled her lab coat closed and thought about running. She didn't. She didn't think she'd get very far. Not from him. She never was entirely sure why he spared her.
E por último, Nova Realidade, fragmento 3.
I found her film from the pile of containers in the back. I threaded it into the projector. I swallowed hard, staring at the screen, hearing her voice, the sunrise I remembered so well only moments away. And then Mr. was there, nailed by the projector's beam, caught in his own trap. He shouted at me, first in confusion, then rage. And then the sun came up and things started to burn.
Olha o spoiler aí. Tá, bora lá, seguir então.
Doctor?
You know, I know physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
I'd imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly you've never met hardcore physicists.
I'm glad you're in such good spirits, but
Signal! Yes, it's completed.
finally. If all goes well, this should be the last time we go through the loop.
You know, I just realized that I don't have any memory of what happens after you leave. What does that mean?
I don't think it means anything. If everything goes well, you just keep going. I don't show up here like this again, no more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now. Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No. You can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could...
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars. Word of advice. This is things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into a world of hurt. Believe me, I know.
I see.
Certo, então vamos pegar a impressão digital e ir para
In
o
a
cinema
strange
ao
way,
ar livre.
he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes, they will be enough, or they will not. For now, he's content to let the currents take him toward the final confrontation. Once more, we return to the drive-in. If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself, he doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more, but cowardice is not among them.
Tá, restaure a força. Id começou num lugar diferente, né? Já começou aqui do lado do... Aí, lógico, velho. Bom, já apareceu aqui do lado do lugar. Nossa! Para de travar, Alan. Tá, vamos lá. Só da direita. Tem uma arma aqui, né? Vamos trocar. Ser diferente. Tá, essa espingarda é boa, hein? Então agora a gente já tem que entrar direto no edifício do projetor. Que rápido, hein? Vai, só vai agora. Que droga, velho.
You're never getting out of this, Wake. Never! Don't worry. I'll take care of your wife and your life. Start sounding desperate.
Mais uma música. Morram, velho. Nossa, esse daí pega. Acabou já, que rápido. Estavam correndo. Eita.
I don't know what you think you're doing, but I'll send you right back to the beginning. What? You think whatever it is you're gonna do is gonna make a difference? This'll end up just like before!
Tá, destrua as fontes escuras. De novo, mas dessa vez estão em outros lugares, né? Estão em lugares diferentes. São 4, eita. Pronto, facinho. Tá, e antes de entrar, bora ouvir os últimos manuscritos que tem neste capítulo. Vamos lá, a gente viu até... vamos ver. Até esse aqui, né? Os perigos da criação. Então vamos pra Serena Valdívia.
For Serena Valdivia, burning the midnight oil was more of an exception than a rule. A procrastinator and a perfectionist, she often worked when she wouldn't be disturbed. Tonight was especially important. The film festival would open tomorrow, and there was still so much to sort out. It wasn't that the work hadn't been done. She just didn't feel like she had completely mastered everything yet.
Tá, focalizando a luz.
There's more to fighting the Taken than just burning away the darkness that protects them. When I'm fighting for my life, I find myself slipping into a state of intense concentration that makes the beam of my flashlight seem more powerful and focused. I used to think it was just my imagination, something brought on by the adrenaline and fear of death. But now I'm not so sure. I've been touched by powers that I can't begin to truly comprehend. And they've left a mark. I'm starting to think this might be a part of it.
Serena e o Sr. Scratch.
When the dark man's eyes suddenly locked into Serena's, she flushed hot. They ignited a black fire in her. He was talking. He wanted the power turned off. He said something about the projector booth. She hooked a finger under his belt buckle. He grabbed a hold of her throat and twisted until it hurt. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her screamed in paralyzed horror, but the moan that escaped from her throat had no panic in it. "Pay attention," he said. "Business first." His eyes glittered shamelessly. Hers did too.
As roupas.
The clothes I wear now I shaped from dreams and memories. It's an old outfit, originally from the 90s. The last time I wore it was when I was still writing and Alice and I took a vacation in the desert before our troubles began. The night before, we'd been at a party, and I had dressed to the nines. On that lazy day, I put on these old clothes, worn and comfortable. Alice made a joke about grunge. I felt a little embarrassed, but I stuck with them. We were very happy. I'm sheathed in good memories to remind myself of what is at stake.
E agora o filme de Alice, a última nota, o último manuscrito do jogo.
I held the film canister in my hands. I saw her name written across it in big letters, followed by the title. It was a time capsule, moments snatched from times gone by, from a past that I hoped could also be our future. It was my salvation, our chance to be together. A tin can with a bit of magic in it that she didn't even know about. Something I could put to good use. There were only moments left before I had to face him.
E bora lá então entrar no edifício do projetor e finalizar o jogo. Tá, vamos pegar as coisas aqui. Eu só tenho uma ou dois, né? Flare guns.
Again, the champion of light enters the final trap. The new reality is almost here. All he needs to do is change the details of the scene, push it past the breaking point, and the rest will snap into place.
Olha lá, o filme de Alice estava em um projetor. Essa é a única diferença, né? Tipo, já era tarde da noite, o verão quase tinha acabado. Então vamos por partes. Aqui, o verão tinha quase acabado. Havia um cartaz de filme visível. Um foco iluminava o extintor. E o filme da Alice. Tá aí. É daquele lado mesmo, caramba. Pronto. Agora o que vai acontecer? Não tá mais escuro.
Oh, come on, buddy. Why don't you... What? What is this? No! No! You can't do this! All I did was take the things you always wanted and never had the balls to go for. It's my turn now. It's my life. It's my life.
Alan? Is it really you?
It's really me.
How? I love you.
I love you.
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for far too long, enveloped in the light of a glorious dawn. They both feel it. He's home at last. Are these actual events, or merely a dream? A memory, or a glimpse of what is to come? One thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time, and another place, far, far away from Night Springs.
E completamos o jogo. Na verdade era praticamente como se fosse um episódio de uma série, né, da Night Springs no caso. Mas mesmo assim foi bem da hora, né? Agora eu consegui entender. Pra mim, quando eu joguei pela primeira vez era tudo igual. Eu fiquei tipo, ué, mas por que a gente tá jogando exatamente o mesmo mapa de novo e de novo? Tipo, agora eu entendi direito. Enfim, então completamos aqui o jogo. Não vai ter o Alan Wake 2, né, pra gente gravar por enquanto. Eu espero que a Remedy lance logo o Alan Wake 2. Mas provavelmente o próximo vídeo será de Quantum Break. Enfim, então, pessoas, se vocês gostaram do vídeo, né, clique em gostei dos favoritos. No caso, Quantum Break. O próximo vídeo será de Quantum Break, que é da mesma empresa de Alan Wake, né, a Remedy. Bom, então, pessoas, se vocês gostaram do vídeo, né, clique em gostei dos favoritos, compartilhem em suas redes sociais para ajudar na divulgação do canal, etc e tal. Deixe um comentário abaixo também se der e se inscreva no canal também. Bom, então, pessoas, até a próxima. Falou!
Got coming to you from here to eternity, no matter how many times you come back.